After several weeks of traveling, finally arrived at Protector's Enclave. M37 was amazed. With a quick glance, she subconsciously noticed the cleanliness of the neighborhoods, the beauty of the architecture, and the liveliness of the streets. M37 was greeted by Sergeant Knox. She found Sergeant Knox to be an interesting little old man. The sergeant asked her to come to him at the top of the stairway and to speak with him. M37 couldn't help but to look around at her surroundings on her way toward the steps. She noticed this fascinating tree that had a hue around it and wondered about its origins and what it may represent. She realized that there would come a time that she would obtain this knowledge. The knowledge of the tree, she thought, would be a very interesting subject indeed. As she walked up to the steps, she noticed the houses and thought of the families that lived inside, sitting around by their fireplaces, enjoying their meals, talking with their children, the husbands and the wives, and wondered what they spoke of, if they were even aware of the battles that are all around them outside of the great city. As she went to speak with the sergeant, she noticed that he was indeed a busy man. There were several people running to and from him. She went up to speak with him, and as she spoke, the sergeant acknowledged her hardships and battles that she encountered during the long journey. He offered her some supplies and introduced some of his staff to her. There was an interesting young man sitting atop a horse who seemed to be quite interested in the conversation that was going on between Sergeant Knox and M37. Sergeant Knox paid it very little mind, so M37 just thought that maybe she shouldn't take it too seriously, and just ignored the young man as he sat there and listened to the conversation between them. The supplies were very meager at most that the sergeant gave her, nothing to really talk about. After the introductions were completed, and Sergeant Knox explained the roles of his staff, the sergeant also explained to M37 that he could use her help and skills. She asked, how did he know of her? The sergeant explained that his military leaders had witnessed the battles with Valindra. They had outposts and duties along the outskirts of the areas that she had traveled. He was notified that she was traveling toward the Protector's Enclave. M37 said, I'll help you, but in turn I need shelter and a source of income. The work that I perform for you will be for the citizens of this great city and their safety. Agreements were made and constituents were put into place. The details of the job's requirements were simple. She would be introduced to the amenities that the city had to offer and within the zones of Neverwinter. She would aid in the battles in these zones to keep danger away from the city, and doing so would help the smaller villages and its people to prosper by protecting them from the evildoers. So M37 thought to herself that she was going to become a land overseer, or the overseer of Neverwinter. The feeling of being overwhelmed was beginning to build up within. M37 noticed to her left, up in the clouds, a building structure, and was able to make out the sight of a portal at the base of its location. Taking this into account, the realization that entrance into this structure would require permission, Knox was unsettled with this request. Only his most esteemed citizens and city leaders were allowed entrance into this area. He needed M37's assistance and went against the council's policies and granted VIP access to M37. She acquired her first rank and became a VIP member to Neverwinter. Knox explained the significance of this rank and the attributes that came with VIP. He went ahead and gave her a rank 7. She now had access to Moonstone Mask, this structure above the city. She also acquired her very own personal travel gate and a mailbox. Now that she was a citizen of Neverwinter, she had to have a mailbox. Also, she was given the ability to teleport at will to Moonstone. But with the travel gate, this seemed kind of redundant, except for the fact she wouldn't have to walk up to the portal by taking the teleport that was given to her. Still, this was a lot to take in. She needed a night of relaxation. Knox told her to pick a room to live in at Moonstone and to mingle with some of his citizens and councilmen that would be visiting the bar, one of the amenities of Moonstone. She was told to report back to him as soon as she was settled in for her assignment. Walking the path leading to Moonstone, a lady asked for her aid.
We have come far, seeking your aid.
I cannot at this time. Please allow me to settle in. After I have become acquainted with my surroundings, I shall return. Continuing on her way toward the portal. Entering the portal was as if becoming free of gravity and floating. Her body had the feeling of warmth and tingling sensations coursing over the skin. There was a bridge that she had to cross. Walking across the bridge, she just kept looking at how huge this Moonstone building was. Entering through the door, she noticed that there was some steps that led to the main floor, and to the right was a bar. M37 decided to have a couple of drinks and was told some rumors by the barmaid.
Fresh tales from other adventurers. Would you want to hear a couple of choice rumors from nearby?
The barmaid discussed several different things with her while she drank the alcoholic beverages that she enjoyed so much. She saw some dancers over to her right. Wanting to participate drew her in, so she danced for several hours. A man was watching her as she swung from side to side. It was as if she was some type of Arabian female who had mastered the arts of hypnotizing men with her swinging of her hips. A man had offered her some coin to participate and dance on a table for him and his party. The dance was fun and the coin was good. Men were taking notice and she felt amazing, not anything like a 350-pound dancer broke. The coin was nice and she just loved it.
Smart fighter quits while he's ahead.
Yeah, the coin was falling like rain everywhere. She enjoyed the atmosphere. One poor soul even proposed. He was adorned in warrior's armor. She was nice to him and wished not to cause any harm. There was a nosy lady that was standing behind. She couldn't help but have the feeling that perhaps she knew this man was kind of jealous, maybe. Taking leave, an area of peace was noted. Taking a rest, contemplation was in thought of what's next. Recalling the barmaid had mentioned the name of the M37 champions and how strange it was that her name was also M37. She told her of a leader named Armswift. Decision was made. She was going to talk to this Armswift and see if he has any knowledge of her origins and perhaps become part of his team. A team of champions. She liked the sound of it.